Coming up on Citrus TV News Live at 6, Ted Cruz visits Syracuse today ahead of Tuesday's primary. Hunter Saenz was there and has an update.
And the Democrats battled it out in Brooklyn last night. Find out if the tone between the two was as civil as in past debates.
Plus 2 days, 2 earthquakes in Japan. We'll tell you how bad today's quake was.
Those stories and more.
Citrus TV News Live at 6 starts right now.
From the Citrus TV studios, this is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Good evening and welcome to Citrus TV News Live at 6. I'm Monika Hammer.
And I'm Michael Tricarico. The New York primary is fast approaching and candidates are campaigning around the state and one in Syracuse today. That's our top story tonight. Just days from the New York State primary, candidates are making their final pushes to drum up support.
Citrus TV's Hunter Saenz just got back from Senator Ted Cruz's rally in Cicero and joins us now. Hunter, what was the atmosphere like with Cruz trailing so far behind in the polls?
Well, Monica, despite the rumors that the rally would be canceled after Cruz's lack of support here in New York, it was a packed crowd inside Drivers Village as the presidential hopeful took the stage. Focusing on traditional conservative values, Cruz tried resonating with Central New York voters by calling out the Obama administration and attacking both Democratic presidential candidates. Cruz promised the crowd, if elected, he would, quote, repeal every word of Obamacare and tackle foreign affair problems. Although there were many pro-Cruz supporters, there were still some who haven't quite made up their minds yet and are happy the candidates are coming through the area.
If you're going to represent New York State, a lot of people can think New York State, New York City, so it's good that they're going to Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse to really get all areas.
New York City, Ted Cruz knows there's not very many people that are going to vote for him down there. They've got New York values. It's the upstate New York. This is where he can possibly pick up a delegate here or there, and it's going to come down to that. A few delegates here or there is going to determine this race.
Now, Cruz is behind quite a bit here in New York. Some polls show him in third place behind both John Kasich and frontrunner Donald Trump. As we speak, Cruz is traveling to Rochester, where he's scheduled to speak at another rally this evening. Hunter Saenz, Citrus TV News. Michael, back to you.
Thanks, Hunter. As Cruz finishes up in central New York, other candidates aren't quite done in Syracuse. Donald Trump will hold a rally tomorrow at the On Center, and Bill Clinton will be at Fowler High School tomorrow trying to gain support for his wife Hillary, who came to Syracuse 2 weeks ago. Now, with New York State's closed primary system requiring voters to enroll in a party to have their voices heard, some third-party members and independents are left out of the vote. Citrus TV's Rob Romano tells us how this can cause some problems.
New York State is a closed primary state, and this means that in order to vote in the primary, you need to be enrolled in a political party, such as a Democrat or Republican. So let's just say you're an independent and you want to vote for Donald Trump. Well, you need to be enrolled as a Republican in order to actually vote. But the problem is that the deadline to actually enroll in a party to vote in the primary was way back on October 9th of last year. Syracuse University tutor Ray Garcia will probably be staying home on primary day because he didn't know about this particular date.
I was not able to do that because being a member of a third party, I was not paying all that close attention to the regulations of the Democratic Party. So yeah, by the time I was aware of that, it was actually, the deadline had passed.
And the early deadline may affect the success of Bernie Sanders in New York State, especially in terms of support from independent voters. When Bernie Sanders won Michigan, he got 71% of the independent vote. And in New York State, Buffalo News reports, there are about 3 million voters that are unaffiliated with a political party and about 430,000 registered independents. Ursula Rosem was a campaign manager for Syracuse's Green Party last November. The Greens share a lot of Bernie's causes, such as raising the minimum wage, taxing the 1%, and a ban on fracking. Rosem says even with support from a third party like the Greens, it wouldn't make a difference for Sanders.
If you look at party enrollment in New York State, the Green Party has about a little bit over 23,000 people in our party. Those are people that affiliate with the Green Party because of our party values, our party positions, and the Democratic Party has over 2 million.
Rosem is right. The Greens are very small in number, but her numbers were a little off. The State Board of Elections says the Greens have slightly more than 26,000 registered voters, including both active and inactive voters, and Democrats have more than 5.5 million. When Sanders won in Michigan, he only won by a little over 18,000 votes, reminding us that every vote counts. Rob Romano, Citrus TV News.
According to an NBC News poll, Hillary Clinton continues to lead Bernie Sanders in New York State by a margin of 57% to 40%.
Taking it from the national election to the SU election, your votes were tallied, and Eric Evangelista and Joyce Lalonde are the new leaders of the Student Association. Tune in to SA Today this Tuesday to learn more about the new president and VP. And we hear a lot about SU basketball and football, but for just the second time in Syracuse history, the Quidditch team will compete at nationals. Citrus TV reporter Shruti Marate has the story.
Syracuse is chasing both the Golden Snitch and a gold medal. The Quidditch team is heading to nationals. The tournament marks the first time that Syracuse has officially qualified for the national competition. The group went to the World Cup tournament 3 years ago after another team dropped out. The strength of the team has grown since, with them fighting for a spot in the finals.
We came in just qualified out of the teams in the Northeast. We were right on the edge of not qualifying, but that's the team we are. We sort of are middle of the top of the middle, but we rise to the occasion. We play hard.
The national competition will be held in South Carolina this year. It's hosted by the United States Quidditch Association with over 200 teams in the network. Syracuse currently ranks 68th, but they've been training extensively and creatively to improve.
Because it's such a new sport, there isn't like a defined, like, this is the way that people play Quidditch. So it's kind of, I spend a lot of my time like watching the film of other teams that are really good teams and how they move the ball around, and I kind of think about how a defense will react to a certain ball movement down the field.
Running around a field, dodging balls, all with a broom in between your legs may seem like an odd pastime, but the team members have grown to be truly passionate about the sport.
I really love the physicality of it. I really love like the passion that everyone in the sport has. Because it's such a new sport, everyone in like the whole community like has made it kind of something their own. Like it's a unique thing to say that you are on a Quidditch team now, and I really love that.
The team heads to South Carolina today and will compete all weekend. Results from the tournament could improve Syracuse's national ranking. Shruti Marate, Citrus TV.
Thanks, Shruti. Up next, former apprentice contestants calling Trump's leadership abilities into question.
But first, here's Nicole Dementri with a quick look at your weather.
And students filled the quad today as temperatures flirted with low 60s. Will this continue? Will we continue seeing the nice weather? Stay tuned to Citrus TV News to see just that.
Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Aww. You should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach
likes
your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Tensions are heating up between Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton as the race is closer than ever.
Taking the stage in Brooklyn, the two exchanged heated blows, with Sanders criticizing Clinton's Wall Street ties and Hillary discrediting Bernie's plan to close big banks.
It was the final debate between the two before New Yorkers cast their ballots in the state's primary. With a whopping 291 delegates at stake for the winner, no love was lost between the two last night.
I stood up against the behaviors of the banks when I was a senator. I called them out on their mortgage behavior. I have consistently said that's not enough. We've got to include the shadow banking sector.
Secretary Clinton called them out. Oh my goodness. They must have been really crushed by this. And was that before or after you received huge sums of money by giving speaking engagements behind them?
The former Secretary of State leads Clinton by 20 points in the polls.
And 6 of Donald Trump's former apprentice stars don't think that he's fit to lead the country.
During a press conference earlier today, the former reality show contestants denounced the presidential hopeful, saying that his campaign is full of sexism, racism, violence, and hate.
Runner-up from season 1 and Goldman Sachs alum Kwame Jackson, who was one of those who joined the Trump rebuke.
Trump does not have the temperament to deal with the sensitivities and diplomacy required on the world stage with volatile regimes in Iran, North Korea, and the threat of ISIS. You don't get into a fist-for-fist boxing match in 2016 global politics.
A major blow to gun makers today, a case against the manufacturer of the gun used in the Sandy Hook shooting back in 2012 will proceed.
10 families affected by the tragedy are suing the maker, distributor, and seller of the rifle the gunman used to kill 20 first graders and 6 educators just 4 years ago.
They had argued for the case to be thrown out under a 2005 federal law that gave immunity to gun businesses.
The search is on for trapped victims of a powerful earthquake that struck Japan today. This comes just a day after another earthquake killed 9.
Today's 7.1 magnitude earthquake struck earlier this afternoon, with a tsunami warning issued about an hour later. The quake was centered in southwestern Japan, but tremors could be felt much further away.
And 5 suspected foreign fighters accused of preparing terrorist acts are under arrest today following an operation conducted by British, French, and Belgian authorities. 4
suspects, one of whom was a woman, were stopped in Birmingham, with another being arrested in London's Gatwick Airport. At this time, it is not clear if the arrests are Paris and Brussels related.
And Secretary of State John Kerry has condemned the Russian flybys that came within 75 feet of a Navy missile destroyer in the Baltic Sea.
Kerry says under the rules of engagement, the ship could have opened fire on the Russian jets. Although Kerry called the actions provocative and reckless, the Russians claim that their maneuvers were in accordance with international rules. Well, spring finally sprung today with warm temperatures and sunny skies.
Citrus TV's Nicole Dementri joins us now. Nikki, is this warm weather going to be sticking around?
Hey, everyone around the country was feeling that warm weather except for people out west, but hey, if you're down south, you're feeling upper 60s, upper 70s. You're feeling the upper 50s and 60s here, so it's absolutely beautiful here. It was feeling more like 63 degrees outside right now. It's just slight wind. It's absolutely beautiful outside. If you could go outside, go play some mini golf, go outside to eat, definitely go do that. It does feel like 63 degrees because there's not much wind for once on the hill. Tonight, it's going to get down to around 37 degrees. Absolutely beautiful outside. No clouds, no rain. Such a switch up since what we've been seeing the past couple weeks. And now, why are we getting this warm weather? Well, we have a high pressure system that is sticking over central New York right now that is bringing us this warm weather. Now, as I mentioned earlier, in the west, we have a low pressure system coming through, so that's why they're feeling more colder temperatures for this time of year. But let's hope that high pressure system sticks around so we can continue feeling that warm weather. Now, looking at this weekend, I'm telling you it's going to be absolutely gorgeous out this weekend. 65 degrees tomorrow, 69 on Sunday, no rain in sight. Slight breeze is going to be absolutely beautiful. Saturday we'll see some clouds, but Sunday absolutely no clouds at all. Now moving into the 5-day forecast. Monday, it's going to be 69 degrees again. You will see some rain at night, but moving into Tuesday, it should be pretty clear at 56. Wednesday, staying around the same, getting a little warmer at 58. Going to be beautiful and sunny alongside Thursday at 69. That's awesome. And then Friday, we're going to see some rain. It's going to be 68, so warm but rainy.
All right, Nicole, you mentioned the mini golf. Funny,
I did.
I'm going later tonight.
did.
What do I have to wear?
So it's going to be around 37 out, so probably a light jacket. It's not going to rain at all. It's going to be beautiful. No breeze, so you guys are going to have a great time.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned some rain this week. Can you remind us when and how much rain are we looking at?
We're going to see some rain around Monday night. Monday and later in the day or Monday night, we're not looking at that much rain, probably less than an inch, so not that much at all, and it'll be pretty clear all the way until Friday, and then we'll see the rain again.
And when it comes to this weather going later on, it's warming up, are we done with the snow finally?
Well, right now, fingers crossed. Fingers, toes, whatever you need to cross. We're not seeing any snow. We're going to see some rain because of the warmer temperatures, but no snow. So Syracuse without snow, what is it? What is that like? Green grass.
Perfect. Looking forward to it. Thanks Nicole.
And after the break, turns out missing sleep could be deadly.
Plus, hammer time. Don't go away.
Mom is struggling to get the skates just right. Now she's holding on for dear life.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Chipotle is spending big bucks to gain back trust from its customers after a series of outbreaks. The company is expected to lose $30 million this quarter, which equates to 3 years' worth of earnings. That's according to a J.P. Morgan report. Neurovirus and E. coli are to blame for the outbreaks. Another CDC study reports a decrease in the number of teens who smoke cigarettes and cigars, but an increase in the use of e-cigarettes and hookahs. The number of teens who smoke e-cigarettes and hookahs was 10 times higher in 2015 than in 2011. E-cigarettes entered the U.S. market in 2007 and are age-restricted in most states, but not restricted online, making them easily accessible to teens across the country. And a new CDC study says teens who sleep less than 7 hours a night are more likely to do dangerous things than teens who sleep for 9. These activities, including texting while driving, driving while intoxicated, riding in a car with a drunk driver, or not wearing a seatbelt at all. The study shows that about 70% of teens are not getting enough sleep. And now for your entertainment news, here's Monika with Hammer Time.
Actress Blake Lively is pregnant with her second child. Lively and husband Ryan Reynolds will soon have a sibling for 16-month-old daughter James. Both actors have been open about wanting to have a big family. Speculations about Lively's pregnancy began when she was spotted reshooting some of the scenes for her upcoming movie, The Shallows. And in the music world, Kelly Clarkson and husband Brandon Blackstock welcomed their second child into the family earlier this week. Clarkson gave birth to a baby boy, sharing the announcement on Twitter. Mother to 22-month-old daughter River Rose, Clarkson announced her second pregnancy during a concert in August of 2015. And James Cameron is finally making his return to Pandora. The director announced that there are 4 sequels in the works to follow the 2009 hit movie Avatar. Originally, there had only been 3 films planned, but Cameron decided that he needed 4 to be able to tell the whole story. The first of the sequels, Avatar 2, is set to hit theaters in December of 2018. And now for what's next in sports, here's Michael Barth.
Thanks, Monica. Coming up in sports, we'll take a look at men's and women's lacrosse, both teams taking on North Carolina in what should be an exciting weekend inside the Carrier Dome. Plus, we got to look back at last night's WNBA draft and a look ahead to some baseball later tonight. Don't go anywhere. Sports is next.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more. What do you think it would be like to teach? Chances are, you have no idea. Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places, and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. That's what it's like to teach.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Start with men's lacrosse tomorrow. 11th ranked Syracuse welcomes North Carolina to the Dome in a crucial ACC matchup for both teams. After starting off 5-0, the Orange have lost 4 out of the last 5, with 3 of those losses coming in overtime. Cuse is 1-2 in the ACC, 6-4 overall. SU is coming off an OT loss to Cornell on Tuesday. The Tar Heels, on the other hand, have won their last 2 games against Duke and ACC cellar dweller Virginia. Game time is tomorrow at 4 o'clock. As close as it gets as a must-win for Syracuse.
Yeah, of course. I mean, 2 great teams going after it. It's both must-wins for us. They want to win in the ACC. We want to win in the ACC. And so, yeah, I think it'll be a close game. Hopefully we can pull away, though, and close the game out.
I thought they did a great job in the last 2 games, especially against UVA. I think UVA came into the game and they really wanted to win, had a good shot at it, and the Tar Heels took them apart. So they played really well, got a lot of production out of their second midfield, which we haven't seen all year long. So it looks like the Tar Heels are hitting their stride right now and playing with a lot of confidence coming off of 2 ACC wins.
Big game for Coach Desko and the squad on Saturday. Now to women's lacrosse, who are also taking on North Carolina. The matchup features 2 top 5 teams in the Carrier Dome tomorrow at noon. It's number 4 versus number 3 in a rematch of last year's ACC championship game, which the Orange won 9-8 in double overtime. SU is on a 6-game winning streak and, of course, led by senior Kayla Traynor, who leads the team in goals and points. Cuse leads the all-time series between the 2 teams 5-2. And moving on, a couple of notable women were picked in last night's WNBA draft. No surprise here, Central New York native and 4-time national champion Breanna Stewart was selected first overall by the Seattle Storm, one of 3 UConn players selected in the top 3. And after helping Syracuse to a runner-up finish in the national championship game, Brianna Butler was drafted in the 2nd round, 23rd overall by the Los Angeles Sparks. Congratulations to both of those ladies. Syracuse tennis was in action earlier this afternoon. Not a great showing from the Orange against number 3 Miami. The Hurricanes won the match 6-1, dominating singles play. The lone SU player to win a singles match was Gabriella Knutson, who defeated Wendy Zhang 7-5, 6-3. Cuse returns home Sunday for the regular season finale against 30th-ranked Virginia Tech. And Syracuse softball opens up a 3-game series this weekend against NC State. The Wolfpack come in with a 19-24 record overall and 3-9 in the ACC. SU is 21-17 and 6-8 in the conference. Orange is riding high after sweeping a doubleheader against Canisius on Wednesday. Senior Corinne Ozane had 4 homers in those 2 games, making her the first player in program history to reach 47 home runs. On to Major League Baseball, Robinson Cano returns to Yankee Stadium tonight and brings his power stroke with him. The Seattle second baseman has 5 home runs in 9 games. Luis Severino will be on the mound for the Yanks, while Nathan Karns takes the bump for the Mariners. Both pitchers were roughed up in their first starts of the season. Severino gave up 3 earned runs on 10 hits, while Karns gave up 4 earned over 7 hits. Finally, the Mets, the 3-5 Mets, take on the Indians tonight at 7. Both teams came into the season with a lot of hype around their pitching rotations, but it's been a slow start for both squads. Bartolo Colon, or Big Sexy as they call him down in Citi Field, is on the mound tonight. In his first start, Colon got the loss but gave up only 1 earned run over 6 innings in their last 5 games. The Mets have hit just 178 and only scored 8 runs. Not enough offense for the Mets there.
All right, Michael, Syracuse lacrosse losing 4 of their last 5 games, but a big one against North Carolina. How much should fans be panicking about this team making the NCAA tournament?
Well, you know, 3 of those losses were in overtime, so really what it comes down to is finishing late at the end of games. So I wouldn't panic too much about the NCAA tournament. We could easily be talking about how those 3 overtime games were 3 wins, not 3 losses. So overall, I think they're still okay for the NCAA tournament, but definitely must-win game against UNC.
All right, thanks, Michael.
And after the break, one last look at the weather.
Stay with us.
Thank you, dear. Well, you're very supple. Just like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
After our show ends, stay right here on OTN for sports coverage on Q's Countdown.
After that, catch Syracuse Unpeeled. Now, Nikki, tell us tomorrow when we wake up, is the weather going to be like what we saw today?
Yeah, definitely. It's going to reach the 60s probably around 1 p.m., but when you wake up, it's going to be upper 30s, so enjoy your mini golf. It's going to continue into tomorrow morning.
Maybe I'll have to take it a second day. And as you continue throughout the week, what can people expect to have to wear?
They can expect to wear some rain gear on Monday and Friday, but the rest of the week should be sunny and clear in the upper 50s and low 60s.
All right, cool.
Great. Looking forward to a beautiful weekend.
Yeah, me too.
You planning on joining us for some mini golf maybe later?
Sounds like a fun time. It's definitely the mini golf season, and I definitely will have to catch a game at some point.
Opening night at the Glen in Fairmount, so really looking forward to it.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Well, that's all for our report tonight. Thanks for joining us. For Michael Barth, Nicole Dementry, I'm Michael Tricarico.
And I'm Monika Hammer. Have a great night, Syracuse.